y'all, it's Shannon from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and today I'm here with my first video in a new series that I want to do for flowers. Okay, my first one and I've had lots of people request me to do more flower videos, and my flower video that I have up is actually my most viewed and has the most views and all that. So I thought I would break it down, go flower by flower, but for this first one, I wanted to do a copycat video of how to make your own flowers. I'm going to use, for my copycat flowers, I'm going to use the Paper Studio flowers from Hobby Lobby. Okay, this pack came with 4 flowers in it, and it cost $7, $6.99 plus tax, so a little over $7. I wanted to show you how to get the same look. It's not going to be exact, but the same look using what you have and how easy it is to make them. So this is what we're going to be doing. Sorry for the glare. But these 4, if you can tell, is the Hobby Lobby flowers that came in the pack. And these are my creations that I made to copy them. Now, when I saw these, I thought about my flowers, my own personal flowers that grow in my garden. And I had a beautiful pink peony. These are kind of a rose-ish look. For like a more loose rose, but they remind me a lot of my peonies, and I'll post a picture on the screen of my peony that bloomed, the one I actually did a layout on, but it had the look and shape of that. So I just wanted to sit down and go over with y'all to make maybe 2 flowers, but this is what we're going to be creating. I'm just going to pull them off this tray and lay them right here. It's easier to lift the whole tray up and show y'all all at once. But, let me do this. Sorry, had to move the tray. Okay. Pretty much this is their version and my version. You can notice there is some differences. I didn't have the exact shade of paper that they had. And then their version and my version. And mine, just because I'm using a die, it's a little bit, the petals are a little bit different. But you can curl them up and make it look pretty close. I mean, they could all be used together. I mean, unless you're looking super close, you can't really tell that they wasn't part of the same pack. Okay, so let me sit down. Alright, so these ones that I made came from this die, and it's a Spellbinders die that I picked up on Hobby Lobby on clearance. The inspiration flower had 5 petal flowers, and this big one had 5 petals, but these didn't, so it's also why it looks a little bit different. But I wanted to show you that you could use what you have, and then I used this die for the leaves, because they have like a little serrated edge look. I did find this 5 petal flower on the Cricut, and it had a little hole in the center, and I just filled in the hole so it wouldn't be one. But I just cut these out on my Cricut, so either one could be used to get the same type of look. I'll actually make another one using these, and then I'll use this one that I cut out to get a more creamy looking plant. Okay, so just to get started, I have water, and I have a glue gun over here because I do like to glue my flowers together with a glue gun. You could use tacky glue to glue the layers, but it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So all I'm going to do, and I have this little tool, I actually got this long time ago. I think it's actually called a scriber. I don't know. It actually came from my ex-husband, so I don't know. I know it's a scriber, but I don't remember what it was used for. But I had a whole set of these that he gave me. But if you don't have anything like this with just a small point on it, I don't know if that's showing up. You could totally use the end of a paintbrush, a pencil, anything like that. So all I'm gonna do so that I get that more, it's hard to explain, but more textured look like this one has, I'm just gonna spritz it with a little bit of water, and I like to just pat it in so that it actually absorbs into the paper, because colored cardstock doesn't absorb water as well. So, you know, you can put a little bit on there. You could even rough it up like this, and if you keep rubbing, since it's a little bit wet, it'll start pulling it off, and it'll give you that white center. If it's a white core cardstock, see, it'll start giving you a little bit more. So since I've already started, I'm going to do it on the other ones. But you don't have to do it. I was just doing them to make them look like these. And I'm using an old Cricut mat, just flipped upside down, because I do want to put glue on this to make my centers. And I've never really used my silicone mat for putting hot glue on, and I don't know if it would melt it, so I didn't do it. I just use this because it's easy to pull off of. So, if you look back at this one, it has the petals folded down for 3 layers, and then it has them folded up for 1 layer. So you're just going to take your tool and just roll your petals underneath, and I'm hoping that you guys can see what I'm doing. And it's just barely wet, so it holds well. And you can totally do these without wetting it. It's just a little bit harder to roll, and it'll give you a more clean look versus like this. So here's your first layer. Now, I also sometimes, just to get a little more dimension, I do like to crinkle them up and then unroll them. Got a little bit of water on my table. Because it just helps give it a little bit more dimension. So then pretty much you're just going to roll. That's the thing I love about flowers. Each flower in real life is unique. And you can do all kinds of things to get different looks with these flowers. And you're just going to roll them under. Okay, so then your second layer is done. Okay, so then third layer, it was also underneath. And sometimes you do have to be a little gentle when you're undoing them so that you don't rip your paper where it's a little bit damp. And then you're just going to continue rolling. I also like to use hot glue because then I don't have to dry my flower. I mean, as long as it's not super wet, it's okay. You can just go ahead and glue them together and they'll hold. But you can also hit them with the heat gun if needed. And whenever you hit them with the heat gun after you've rolled them and added a little bit of water, it'll like give it that, it'll hold the shape really well. Okay, so then with these, I'm going to use 2, even though this one only has, I already forgot, four layers. I'm going to use 5, or maybe not. Maybe I'll just use 4. Okay, so we got 3 rolled under, and then this one's just a tiny bit smaller than those, which it shows like on that one. And this one is going to have the petals going up instead of down. So, and I I like to, when I'm doing my center one, I like to fold these in half just to give them a little something. And then to curl them. Is that right? Yeah. These are just going up instead of out. And this one's going to be your center of your flower. Well, it's going to be your top layer, I guess I should say. And this one goes up more. It's going to be your center. Okay, so then I'm just going to take my glue gun and I'm going to add a little bit of glue. And then alternate the petals. And be careful because it is a little bit hot, especially if you're using a high temp glue gun. And then I'm just going to do this. These flowers are a little bit bigger. I cut them on my Cricut than what the one in the package is, but it's okay. And then, like I said, with this one, it's your center one, so it's going to go up. And you're still just alternating petals. Okay, and then if you can see on the center of these, all it literally has is seed beads on glue. Now, I don't have any of the little gold seed beads. I don't have any little ones. I have a bunch of other colors and like mixed ones over here, but they won't really match the color I'm going for. So I'm just going to use the ones that I used on the other one. They are gold. Let me make sure I'm in film. Okay. And then to make these, all I'm going to do is squirt out a circle of glue onto my Cricut mat. And then I'm just going to drop these seed beads on. Uh-oh, there's a red one that got in there. Get out of there, you're not allowed. Okay. Now, it's hot, so be careful. But I'm just going to take it and squish it up and push them down so that it gets down into the glue to hold them really good. And then I'm going to give it a minute to dry so that I can pick it up off there and then I can glue it onto the center of that. Now, if you use smaller seed beads, you could use other stuff too that you have. You know, you could use, if you had extra bling, you could put a button for the center. I showed y'all on that other flower video, like, the sky is the limit whenever it comes to all of that. Let's see, and it's going to dry for a few more minutes. Okay, so if you notice on this one, it is glittery. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's sparkly. Now, I didn't have, I mean, you could totally use stickles. You could use the really fine loose glitter on it if you had it. I didn't have any of the clear, because I'm pretty sure that's what it used, like the clear, like stickles type stuff. But I did have this glitter paste. It's Bow Bunny glitter paste. And I actually had never used it until I used it I was trying to figure out what I was going to use on the flower. I got this on a peachy cheap deal with these other colors. And you got like 5 of them. I've never used them, like I said, until I added it to those flowers. And I found I didn't like how it came out. This is almost dry enough to pop up. Okay, let me pop this up and add it, and then I'll show y'all what I did to the glitter. And I'm just using my Cricut tool to just get up underneath there and pull this off. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more glue and add it back to the center. press it down. And voila, you have your center of your flower. Okay, for this, I didn't like how it looked when I first added it on, which you can't tell really good, but some spots have more than others on this one that I did first, and then I did this one second, but you can see how it's puddled up, and whenever it comes out, it's just like chunky glitter glue, and so I just got a little dab of it out to work with on a paintbrush, and I put it on my mat, and then I just added water. Now, I don't know if this is how you're supposed to use this stuff, because I've never used it. I've never even saw anybody else use it on a video or anything. So, but I did add water to it just to water it down, and then I don't know if it's because it's silver or if because it's paste, it gives it like a milky look. That I just took it after I'd put water on it, and then I just touched it to the edges of my petals to just give them a little bit of shimmer. Now, you could totally use a shimmer pen or brush or whatever it's called. They have other ones too. I can't think of what they call them. You could probably use Nuvo drops, anything like that, that's sparkly if you wanted to do this. But I actually like this, even though I don't have the exact right color. I need some clear because I would use clear probably more than any of the others. But it's a great way to use it, and then I wanted to just put a little bit down in here around the center. So pretty much we have our first flower done, other than adding a leaf. Now, like I said, I used a die cut for the leaf. You could use your Cricut, you could use whatever you had. I'm going to use this one, but pretty much I just folded my leaf in half, and then I went through and I folded it like this to give it the ridges in it. And then I just took some of the Distress Oxide. This one is ground espresso, and I just inked it up, and then I inked on top a little bit, and then I just glued it on. And pressed it down. It's still a little bit damp. It needs a little bit of dry time overall. But, and then I just took and went back with my glitter and then just touched the end of it. I still got a little bit on the paintbrush, so. So then it's finished. You have a glittery flower and leaf, like these leaves on here. I don't know if you can see them good, but they're kind of multi-toned and they have glitter on them. And you could ink it even more to bring out more of the color if you wanted it exact. But I think it's pretty just like it is. It could look even more so like it if you had the little small seed beads for the center. But you could use whatever. Use whatever you have on hand to create it. You're still going to get it. And it's not super big that you couldn't use it on a layout. And you know, you can always flatten them out more. Okay, so let me look and see how long this video is at. 18 minutes. Okay. I'll do another one real quick. Let's do this creamy one. I have some that's a little bit smaller and then one that's a little bit smaller. Okay. Let's use these. And you can make a ton of these. I mean, I've already made 3 flowers. About to make a 4th one, which is what you got in the pack now. Keep in mind, for $7. Sorry, I had to get a drink. For $7 versus, you know, I've already made 4 out of just using scraps that I had. Okay, well, this one had writing on the back, but it's okay. It ain't going to show up anyhow. Okay, so you're just going to wet it up. And these have the little edges, like, you know, that has the decorative edges versus these. These are the Cricut ones. These are from the die. And so, you know, you're going to have just a slightly different look because the petals are going to be, more, have more detail in them. Okay. And I like to fold each side of them because that's kind of how they have theirs. Okay, so there's one. And you could even spritz them all and let them be soaking in. You just don't want to get them too wet. Okay. These petals are a little bit smaller, so it gets it harder to be able to curl both sides. But, okay. There's that one. And this one's the next biggest. I got this. Hope you guys are having a happy 4th of July. We did ours last night with our friends and fireworks and all that stuff. And my kids are going to camp, so yay, I got time to catch up and make y'all some videos. I also was told today that I was chosen for the Scrap-A-Sketch Creative Design Team, and I am beyond excited, y'all. Okay, I'm going to fold this one the other way because this one's going to be my center. And it's a little bit different than what they have there. But, you know, be creative and just add and experiment. And, you know, each flower, like I said, is unique. So, okay. And then I'm going to add this one. And, oh gosh, and it's hot. So y'all be careful if you're using hot glue. I have permanent burns from, using a glue gun. I have one on my leg that was really bad where glue dropped. And then you can fluff it up. There is water still on my mat, so it's causing it to be a little more loosey-goosey. And then I'm just going to add the center petals. I'm going to use my paintbrush and press it down so I don't burn my finger this time. Okay, and then I'm just going to make the center again. So, I'm going to squirt out my glue. I'm not going to make this one as big since it's a little bit smaller flower. And if you get a bunch of the little strings from your glue, if you have a bunch of them, like there's some on that one, I can pull it off. But if you have some that's everywhere, if you want to get rid of them in a hurry, just shoot it with your heat gun real quick and they'll all disappear. And then you don't have to sit there and battle the strings. It's easy if you just wait and do them all and then just go and hit them. You can also, if like, let's see with this one, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but there's a slight tint of pink in the center of the flower. And you could always, you know, go in and ink all your flower centers in whatever color you wanted just to show up a little bit beforehand. And then glue them, and that would work out good. Okay, let's see. That one dried pretty quick, I think, because the mat's still a little bit wet. Alright, so then we just pull it off, and then we just pop it in the center. Pop it back on there. And as you can tell, my form is falling just a little bit because of where it's still a little bit damp. The mat's still a little wet where I sprayed the water. But, I mean, it's super cute, y'all. And then you just do the same thing. Add the glitter, add the leaf. Here, let's add the leaf first. I'll use this one, I guess. I'm just going to fold it in half. Just to give it a little something. Sorry, my air just kicked on again. It's so hot and humid here. It's like over 100 degrees with the heat index today. And it's been raining off and on, so the humidity is crazy. I need to actually add probably some more ink. That's what I like about the Distress Oxides. I can use this ink on the daubers forever. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue this on. If I can pick up my flower. Okay. Press it down a little bit. Okay, so then I'm just going to, whoa, throw stuff around apparently. And I'm just going to get some of this out. Put it over here. Always make sure to keep my lids on tight. I've been leaving that little piece of paper in there so it don't hopefully dry out as fast. But I'm just adding some water and watering this down to thin it out. And then just gonna run it on the petals. And once it dries, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but it has like a milky look to it. I think it's partly because it's a paste, because it says it's glitter paste. But it doesn't dry like that, the milky look goes away from it, so. And we have a second flower done. And it doesn't, I mean, it's not like super tall at all. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's very low profile. You can totally use it on a scrapbook page. You can use it on an altered project, any of that stuff. So I hope this guy's inspired you to go make some flowers. Come back and join me for the other flowers. I know I have some flowers lined up, probably daisies, and probably do some roses since these are more of a peony type looking flower. So like and subscribe and come back and join me soon. Bye y'all.